July 2026. It is Thursday. This is a Thursday edition of Overt Radio Breakfast Show. We are broadcasting to you live from the city of Lagos. Lagos is a center of excellence. This is the Breakfast Show. My name is Kenneth. This Breakfast Show is being brought to you by Live Back Pharmacy and Stores Limited, marketers of Ogama QS soft gel as an anti-malaria tablet. All right, let's go straight to the business of the day like we normally do, like we usually do every day here, Monday to Friday between the hours of 8 and 10 o'clock. This particular segment is when I'll be reviewing some of the stories making headlines on Nigerian newspaper this morning. And I will start with the Sun newspaper this morning. Catholic bishops to Tinubu, Nigeria drifting towards one-party states. Democracy under threats. Catholic bishop to Tinubu, Nigeria drifting towards one-party state and democracy is under threat. The Catholic Bishops' Conference of Nigeria, CBCN, on Tuesday delivered a blunt assessment of the nation's political and security climate to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, warning that Nigeria is steadily drifting towards a one-party state with democracy institutions, public confidence, and national unity increasingly under strain. The warning was delivered by the newly elected president of the CBCN, Archbishop Matthew Oso Dagoso, who led a delegation of Catholic bishops to the presidential villa, Abuja, where they held talks with the president on the state of the nation. He reminded, speaking on behalf of the bishops, Dagoso said growing concerns over the shrinking political space and the weakening of opposition parties have fueled widespread fears that Nigeria's hard-won democracy is being eroded. He reminded President Tinubu of his own pro-democracy credentials, recalling his role in the struggle against military dictatorship in the 1990s, which forced him into exile. According to the Archbishop, many Nigerians now find it troubling that the democratic ideals for which Tinubu once fought appear to be under pressure. Many voices are screaming over what they consider to be the constriction of the political space, Dangoso said, adding that many citizens believe the country is gradually being steered towards a one-party state. He stressed that only President Tinubu's actions, not assurances, would convince Nigerians that such fears are unfounded. The bishops urged the president to rein in officials of the ruling party, including governors, members of the National Assembly, and local government chairmen, insisting that the All Progressive Congress must demonstrate respect for democracy, for democratic values, and the rule of law. According to Ndagoso, President Tinubu's enduring legacy should not be the weakening of political opposition, but the strengthening of democratic institutions capable of outliving any administration. Yes, so that is the leadership of the Catholic bishop of the country, in the country rather. That's the leadership of the Catholic bishops in the country, warning that Nigeria, who founded her independence in 1960, and since we came on board in 1999 to steady democracy, that ideal, that democratic value is gradually eroding, is being eroded by some personal ambition of some political elements in the country, some selfish ambition. You know, when you desire something too much, you tend to derail from that purpose. You tend to deviate from that purpose. So it is true, what the Catholic bishop told the president is nothing far from the truth. That is the truth. because as a ruling party, you cannot have everything to yourself. You cannot have everything to yourself. Don't if a particular state is not an APC state, is not by force, to make sure that that party is being controlled by the ruling party at the center. If a particular governor doesn't want to associate himself, with your ruling party, that shouldn't be another reason to start truncating, the administration of that party. Okay, if an individual, if you think that a political opposition, has gotten so much popularity, to your level, that doesn't give you the impetus, the mien, that doesn't give you the audacity to start truncating the activities of the party where that opposition figure is. So we must begin to play democracy. We must begin to play politics, as a game. Yes, it is a game, but not a game of hatred. We must stop playing politics of hatred. If I don't share views to your own politics, if I don't align myself to your own political ideas or ideals, that shouldn't. You should be happy with that. You shouldn't be worried about that. Okay, this is not how democracy. This is not how politics is being practiced in other countries. There are countries that have been in democracy for centuries, for 150 years, for 200 years, for 50 years, for 30 years, and this country, they are still strong because of they don't see politics as an ambition. They don't see politics, as something, as a selfish interest, but they see politics as a platform, to make the society livable, to make the society governable, to make the society, a responsible society. So, since the Catholic bishop has approached the president, telling him what is actually going on in the country, I want to urge other leaders of faith too to do so. Okay, I want to urge other leaders of faith, those in the Muslim sect, those also in the Pentecostal, sect. I want them to approach the president and tell him what is going on in the country. This is not how democracy should be played. This is not how democracy should be practiced. This is not how democracy should be lived. Okay. Just because an opposition party is gaining ground in the country, that doesn't give the opportunity for the ruling party to truncate the activities of that opposition party, despite the fact that the APC have denied, any involvement of the leadership crisis in the PDP, the leadership crisis in the ADC, the leadership crisis in the Labour Party and other opposition party. We must begin to do things independently. Okay, the APC were once an opposition party. When the PDP was in power since 1999, to 2015, the APC were once an opposition party, and nobody disturbed the APC. And before the APC actually became the APC, nobody disturbed, the APC as at that time when before the merger. So I want the president to talk to his officials. I want the president to sit officials of the ruling party, to sit them down. The president is a very brilliant individual, and this kind of comment, towards him is unpalatable. Is unpalatable. So I urge the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, to talk to officials of his party. Those in the governors, the ministers, party chairman, state party chairman, party executives, party spokesperson within the APC. Talk to them. Because the atmosphere is getting tensed by the day, because election is approaching. So I want other leaders of thoughts in the religious circle to also, be bold enough to speak the truth to the presidency, to speak the truth to the president. So I commend the Catholic bishop for being bold enough to have approached the president, telling him that the country is drifting towards a one-party state. Is drifting towards a one-party state. So if all the governors in this country are from a particular political party, so where is the competition for democracy? How would democracy be sweet? How would democracy be interesting? Okay, how would democracy be something that would ignite passion, in the hearts of politicians? If all the governors, if you are acquiring all governors to your party, so where is the competition? What is the beauty of democracy? Democracy is about competition. Democracy is about exchange of ideas. It's exchange of ideas from this party to that party, clash of ideas, clash of ideologies, so that we can find a common ground. That is what democracy is. That is one of the values, one of the beauty, one of the sweet things about democracy. So let us encourage healthy competition as 2027 is approaching. Let us encourage healthy competition as 2027 is approaching. Just in the news, the states, the secretary to the government in that's the Osun State SSG has been arrested for alleged vote buying. Okay, now what about those people that were caught in previous election that were, that were involved in vote buying? Were they, as the law caught up with them? And I will come to that particular story when I get there. So kudos to the Catholic bishop for being bold to tell the president that Nigeria is gradually drifting towards a one-party state, and democracy which our forefathers, our founding fathers, the likes of Nnamdi Azikiwe, the likes of Sardauna of Sokoto, the likes of Tafawa Balewa, the democracy that they once dreamt of this country, the likes of Chief Obafemi, late Obafemi Awolowo, the freedom of the unity that they dreamt about is democracy is under threat in this country. Is under threat. You must not have everything to yourself. Okay, you must not have everything to yourself, and you must not remain in power forever. A time will come when you'll be able, when it is time for you to give account of what you've done as a president, as a governor, as a minister, as a senator. Time is coming, and that time is not far from now. All right, let's go to the next headline. Yes, the second story on the Sun newspaper this morning, the 30th day of July 2026. 2027, people's will must prevail. Every vote should count. This is coming from Dixon. The national leader of the Nigerian Democratic Congress, NDC, Seriake Dixon, has said that every vote will count in the 2027 general elections. Dixon, in a post on his verified X handle on Wednesday, stated that the will of the Nigerian people is supreme and should take precedence over the interest of any individual politician. He also said that those who believe they can use security agencies to intimidate, kill, or harm citizens during elections, or manipulate results in collaboration with the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, would be disappointed. I want to assure you that every vote will count. There will be no room for violence, intimidation, or the deployment of security operatives and armed thugs against law-abiding citizens, as some people do. We believe the people's will is supreme. Thank you once again for your prayers and support for me and for all the candidates of our party. Together, we must remain vigilant and ready to democratically resist intimidation, oppression, violence, inducements, and every attempt to undermine the will of our people. We have defeated federal might severally before, and by the grace of God, we shall do so again. With me leading from the front, as you know, he wrote. All right, that word is coming from the national leader of the Nigerian Democratic Congress, Seriake Dixon. He is a former governor of Bayelsa State, is now senator in the National Assembly, and is also the national leader of the Nigeria Democratic Congress, NDC. He formed that party. Remember, the NDC is where the former presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, has pitched his tent on ahead of the 2027 general election. So we will see the defeat that is in the bag of threats of NDC. You know, the NDC has political bigwigs in the country. Peter Obi, Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, who is the leader of the Kwankwasia movement, and other, you know, political figures in the country. All right. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, he has spoken. Says people's will must prevail, and every vote should count. So we hope that in the 2027 general election, that your vote and my vote will count. As you are casting your vote, it will be counted. We don't want any form of technical glitch like we experienced in 2023. We don't want any form of voter intimidation. We don't want any form of vote buying, voter inducement. That is just the new trend coming in Nigeria, whereby party agents will bribe people who are about to cast their vote to vote for their party. You know, and it is an insult. It is nonsense. You know, it is an insult. It is an insult that a political party, okay, a party would be giving out money for people to vote for them. So, my God, because the moment, whenever I think about that, I feel insulted as a Nigerian. You know, I feel insulted as somebody who believes in democratic value. You know, okay, somebody is coming to vote, all right. Somebody is coming to vote with his or her voter's card, and you approach the person, tip the person to vote for your party. So where is the expression? Where is the expression of will? So Nigerians can no longer express their will willingly. Nigerians can no longer stand and vote for the person they feel has the ability to transform the society. It is high time the international organization, it is high time the UN and other meaning the European Union should take a stand against vote buying in this country. It is high time the United States and other countries that we are allies to, other countries that receive financial aid from, should take a stand against vote buying in this country. That any candidate, any political party that engages vote buying, that candidate will be barred from their country for life. Because we must begin to take some decisive steps against some nuances in this country. We must begin to take some steps. Because if a country wants to make progress, it will be shown in what they do. It will be shown in their dispensation of justice. It will be shown in who and how they dispense justice to individuals who are corrupt in the country. Vote buying is an insult to the Nigerian people, is an insult to the electorate, is an insult. Just because you have unrestricted access to the cookie jar, that doesn't give you the right to start doling out money for people to vote for your party, for people to vote for you. It's an insult. So we must put a stop to this childish way of doing democracy. It is childish. It is childish. That means you don't have the ability to be a leader. If you are bribing people to vote for you, you don't have the ability to be a leader. If all you think is to bribe people to vote for you, if all you think is to bribe people to vote for your party, you don't have the ability to be a leader. People must not be induced to vote for you. people must not be induced to vote for you. People must not be induced financially or anyhow to vote for you. That means you don't merit that leadership that you've been given. You don't merit it. And it will show later on. It will show during your administration. Either you're a president, you're a governor, you are a local government chairman, you're a senator. You give people money to vote for you. That means you don't deserve it. You don't deserve it at all. It is 25 minutes gone past the hour of 8 o'clock. This is the breakfast show here on Overt Radio. We are broadcasting to you live from the city of Lagos. Lagos is a commercial capital of Nigeria. You can go to our various social media platforms to watch our past programs here, our live shows, our interviews, talk shows here on Overt Radio. On Overt Radio, go to Instagram, Overt News. On TikTok, overt.radio.lagos. On Instagram, Overt News. On X, Overt Radio Live. We are currently streaming on YouTube, Overt Radio Live. All right, 26 minutes gone past the hour of 8 o'clock. I am extending the headline review to like 9 o'clock so that I have a lot of stories to analyze this morning. Okay, now this is coming from the former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, still on the Sun newspaper. He said that 12.62 trillion debt. Tinubu has lost control of government. Atiku claims Tinubu has lost control of government. Now, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar has said latest revelation that the federal government exceeded its 2024 borrowing limits by 4.79 trillion. Let me take that sentence again. Former Vice President Atiku Abubakar has said latest revelation that the federal government exceeded its 2024 borrowing limits by 4.79 trillion. Pushing fresh borrowing to 12.62 trillion is a further proof that the President Bola Tinubu administration has completely lost control of the country's finances. Atiku, African Democratic Congress 2027 presidential candidate, noted that the government had promised that the painful removal of fuel subsidy, repeated tax hikes, and other harsh economic measures would reduce borrowing and restore fiscal stability. Atiku, in a statement by his senior special assistant on public communication, Frank Shaibu, stated that instead of witnessing the exact opposite, endless borrowing, ballooning debts, and unprecedented waste, he explained that according to the budget office, the federal government borrowed 61.2% above what was approved by the National Assembly, adding that was still an additional 3.19 trillion naira classified as budget support was obtained despite no such provision existing in the approved budget, with no clear disclosure of its source. Atiku said, and I quote, "This is not an isolated incident. It fits into a disturbing pattern that has become the defining signature of the Tinubu's administration." And what are those signatures? What are those things that characterize Tinubu's administration? Number one, duplication, opacity, and reckless fiscal management. Atiku continued, "This is the same government that has been caught creating fake agencies, padding budgets with duplicated allocations, hiding trillions under the mysterious service-wide votes, allocating obscene sums for luxury SUVs while critical sectors gasp for survival, and now borrowing far beyond the limits approved by law." What exactly is all this borrowing funding? Certainly not education, where children continue to learn under deplorable conditions. Certainly not healthcare, where hospitals remain underfunded. Certainly not security, where innocent Nigerians are massacred while security agencies complain of inadequate funding. Certainly not infrastructure, because the roads remain death traps and electricity become an expensive luxury. Furthermore, article posited that the tragedy is that Nigerians are being forced to service debts whose benefits they cannot see. Even more troubling is the contradiction that defines this administration. Only days ago, it emerged that high crude oil prices have handed the federal government an estimated 7.98 trillion oil windfall. Yet, instead of reducing borrowing, the government has continued to pile debt upon debt. A government earning windfalls while borrowing recklessly is not suffering from lack of revenue, it is suffering from lack of discipline. The Budget Office report further reveals that debt servicing alone consumed 12.36 trillion naira, exceeding the budget by more than 52%. Nigeria is fast approaching the dangerous point where government exists primarily to borrow in order to repay previous borrowings. This is not economic reform, article said. It is physical vandalism. No responsible government mortgages the future of unborn generations while simultaneously presiding over duplicated budgets, wasteful expenditures, opaque financial practices, and an ever-expanded bureaucracy. He stated, the question Nigerians must be asking where all the money is going, noting that what revenues increase, borrowing also increases. When taxes increase, borrowing still increases. When subsidy is removed, borrowing accelerates. When budgets are padded and duplicated, borrowing becomes the answer once again. This is not governance. It is a debt addiction. The ADC believes that Nigeria deserves a government that lives within its means, eliminates waste, restores transparency, blocks leakages, and channels public resources into productive investment rather than financing an endless cycle of borrowing. That is coming from the former Vice President Atiku Abubakar. In all those things he has said at the force, during the incoming administration, during the inauguration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, May 29, 2023, he announced, he declared that subsidy is gone. And with the thinking of that, many thought that, okay, since money that were to be used for subsidy will not be used for other things, and despite the fact that the country, his government is still borrowing. And the question is, where these borrowings, where are they going? What are you using them for? What are you using them for? This borrowing, where are they going? The National Stadium in Lagos is still in shambles. I remember during the administration of Sunday Dare, who was the Minister of Sport at that time, he took a physical visit to the main bowl of the National Stadium. The main bowl of the National Stadium, as at that time, used to be the pride of Nigeria Stadium. Now, take a trip to the main bowl of the National Stadium, the one that is facing the Oniko Stadium, the Lagos State Government Stadium, the Teslim Balogun Stadium. If you are coming in from Costain, the stadium you will see by your right, that is the main bowl of the National Stadium. Look at the National Stadium in Lagos. The main bowl of the National is in shambles. We can't host sporting events there any longer. For the past 10 years, no sporting activity in the national main bowl of the National Stadium. Infrastructures are on decay in the country. The bridges that you see today These were bridges that crude oil in this country built. But the infrastructure that we are seeing today, these are monies borrowed. We cannot boast. We cannot boast of any infrastructure put in place by this administration or the previous administration based on the proceeds of crude oil. Which infrastructure has been built since 2027 based on savings? Which infrastructure, which mass transit has been brought into this country from the proceeds of crude oil in the country? But everything, all the infrastructure in this country, all the infrastructures in this country, all the initiatives in this country, all the things that money has done in this country, this money were borrowed money. This money were monies not gotten from crude oil proceeds. And we claim to be, an oil producing nation. Just like Atiku stated that we experience windfall, about 7 trillion naira. What has been used? What has that money been used for? And we are borrowing. We are borrowing. Borrowing to do what? Borrowing to do what? If you like they used to say that Lagos is full of flyovers. All the flyovers that you are seeing in Lagos before these new ones, most of the flyover, the buildings, the iconic buildings that you see in Lagos, these were buildings built by proceeds of crude oil, by proceeds from cocoa, proceeds from our agricultural produce back then in the days. The Mom and Kotangora building in CMS, these were buildings, built by proceeds from crude oil, by proceeds from cocoa, granules, the rice pyramid, the granite pyramid those days. The Coca-Cola building in Ibadan. These were buildings, these were iconic buildings built by proceeds from crude oil, from the natural resources. The Tafawa Balewa, the TBS at CMS. These were monumental structures that were built from crude oil. How many structures in this modern day democracy, how many structures can this administration and the previous administration boast of that were built from crude oil? But all the structures that the Tinubu is doing, that they are putting in place, all the structures that the previous administration of late Muhammadu Buhari put in place, these structures were structures funded by borrowing. Is that how to lead a country? Is that how to lead a country? We must begin to decide where we are going in this country. The gentleman has raised some pertinent questions here that cannot be swept aside, that cannot be swept under the carpet. All right, let me go to the next headline. All right, now the Vanguard, on the Vanguard newspaper. All right, this is 38 minutes gone past the hour of 8 o'clock. This is the breakfast show. I'm reviewing headlines on the front page of our newspaper, on the newspaper, and it's being brought to you by Liveback Pharmacy and Stores Limited, marketers of Ogama QS Softgel Zenati Malaria. All right, on the Vanguard newspaper this morning, Abia government fixes 200 million for presidential campaign billboard permit. When I saw this story, I laughed. This man is a smart man. Okay, Abia State government says every political party's presidential candidates intending to campaign through billboards and posters will pay 200 million to obtain campaign advertising permits. Oh my God. The Abia State Structures for Signages and Advertising Agency, ABSA, disclosed this on Wednesday in Aba, during a stakeholders forum on political campaign advertising fees. Interesting. The forum has a theme, Order in Outdoors, Partnership for Safe Campaigns, Sustainable Revenue, and a Cleaner Abia. Mr. Ndobese Onwagugu, the head of Department Strategy, Innovation and Design, ABSA, announced the rates on Wednesday in Aba. Google said that the permit rates should apply to all political party candidates at all levels in Abia, and had its basis in ABSA and other Abia law regulating signage and advertising. Presidential candidates will pay 200 million. Governorship candidates will pay 150 million. Senatorial candidates will pay 100 million. House of Representatives and Assembly candidates will pay 50 and 20 million respectively. The schedule of political campaign advertising permit fees contained herein has been approved by the government of Abia State and applied throughout the approved election campaign period. He said earlier, Sir Onyebuchi Emin Manka, the Director General Strategic Communications Bureau, Abia, said that the permit schedule was non-negotiable. It is about protecting lives on our roads, preserving the beauty of cities, and protecting the integrity of our democratic process. Dr. Alex Otis' leadership is determined to provide an enabling environment for political engagement with clear rules, transparent processes, and equal access. Please note this: for the avoidance of doubt, the Abia government will not discriminate against any political party or any candidates, Emin Manka said. All right, it is a good one. It is the election season. The election campaign season is on. From next month, August 20 something thereabout, campaign will start. And Abia government has slammed 200 million for presidential campaign billboard permits. This man, they want to cash in, man. You want to cash in. That's a good one there. So I expect other states too to follow suit. This is business, and here too on Overt Radio, we solicit for advert as well for your campaign wherever you are in this country. If you're a senator, you are listening to us. If you're a governorship candidate, if you're a senatorial candidate, you are listening to us. If you're a governorship candidate, candidate of any of the office, presidential candidates, if you are listening to us, we are open to advert here on Overt Radio. So we'll follow suit, just like Abia State government has done. We'll follow suit. We'll follow suit as well. All right, let's go to the next story. 43 minutes gone past the hour of 8 o'clock. All right, Osun government pool. Police nab SSG, 5 others over alleged vote buying. The Osun State Police Command has arrested the Secretary to the State Government, SSG, Mr. Teslim Igbalaye, along with 5 other persons for allegedly involved in vote merchandising ahead of the August 15th governorship election. In a statement issued by the command, the police said the arrest followed a raid on the SSG's residence at Oroki Estate area of Oshogbo on Wednesday, adding that permanent voters' cards were recovered during the raid. According to the command, officers recovered a register containing voters' details, raising concerns over possible electoral offences. Other items allegedly recovered from the resident include 4.8 million naira in cash, a Dynabook laptop, photocopying machines, a printer, and voter registers covering wards 1 to 15 in Oshogbo local government area. The police also identified the other suspect arrested at the residence as Abiodun Arowomole, popularly known as Ashipa, who was described as a wanted murder suspect on the command watch list. Alongside Taiwo Akande, Lukman Adeyemo, Muftau Olaoye, and Musliu Adiremi. The command said investigations are ongoing into allegations of vote buying, criminal conspiracy, and harboring a wanted suspect. It added that the allegations have significant implications for the administration of justice and the credibility of the democratic process. Well, Okay, yeah. So these were the things that were found in the possession of the SSG. Okay, and voters card, um, Dynabook laptop, photocopying machines, printer, voters registers covering 1 to 15, covering wards 1 to 15, and the sum of voters card was not found with them. Items allegedly recovered from the residents include 4.8 million naira cash, a laptop, photocopying machines, a printer, and voter registers covering wards 1 to 15 in Oshogbo local government area. Okay, so kudos to the police for this operation, and I expect that the individual and those that were caught alongside have their day in court, and justice will be dispensed swiftly if found guilty. Okay, if found guilty. Okay, so the police should not stop at the opposition parties. They should also go to other political parties. The APC too, they have candidates. Other political parties, not only to Accord, the ADC, the PDP, the APC, and other political parties who have governorship candidates for the August 15 governorship election in Osun State. So my question is, what has been done to those that were caught in other elections? Those people that were caught physically handing out cash to voters, what has been done to them? What has been done to their party? What has been done to the candidates? Okay, justice should not be tilted to one side. It should cut across board. Okay, if you've arrested, somebody from the opposition party or from the ruling party, you should also do investigation. You should also kick off investigation in other candidates. Okay, because Osun State is a very, very germane state in the country that the APC is yet to capture. The APC has Lagos, the APC has Ogun State, the APC has Ekiti State. So it is only Osun State and Oyo State that the APC is yet to capture. So kudos to the authorities for this revelation, for this disclosure. We hope that justice is dispensed swiftly so that we can move forward for the Osun State August 15 governorship election. Okay, let's move to the next headline. All right, yes, we failed PFIPC. We failed due diligence on the recruitment waiver. This is coming from the head of Civil Service of the Federation, Mrs. Esther Didi Wilson Jack, yesterday admitted before the House of Representatives ad hoc committee investigating alleged creation of the Presidential Economic Advisory Council PEAC and the Presidential Foreign Investment Promotion Council PFIPC without legal backing, that their office failed to carry out due diligence, that her office failed to carry out adequate due diligence before issuing key approvals. This is even as the committee said it uncovered what it described as a web of forged documents used to secure government approvals. Appearing before the committee, Wilson Jack acknowledged that her office relied on documents later discovered to be fake in granting authorized recruitment waiver to the purported agency. We now, having seen all the facts and observed all the documents, concede that we ought to have carried out more due diligence in discharge of the duties of the office in issuing an authorized establishment and a recruitment waiver to the PEAC/PFIPC, she told lawmakers. The head of service explained that officials of the purported agency presented themselves as representatives of a newly established federal body during the 2025 annual manpower budget defense, accompanied by what appeared to be an Establishment Act and a letter appointing a Director General. According to her, under established civil service procedures, newly created agencies seeking to recruit staff are expected to present an enabling act, the appointment letter of the chief executive, and other supporting document before an authorized establishment and professional recruitment waiver are issued. Now, I've been on this PFIPC for a very long time, close to about a month now. Oh yeah, close, because each time any PFIPC story I come across, each time I come across any PFIPC story, I do an analysis on that, and I'll be doing for the political update by 9:15. I'll be talking about this particular story, so don't go anywhere, please. I'll be talking about this particular story, whose head should roll in the civil service or any other agencies responsible for giving an official backing in the establishment of that PFIPC, which the federal government has claimed that it was non-existent. So my comment would be, when I come back by 9:15 a.m. later on, within the next 25 minutes or so, where I'll be talking about this particular story. All right, Lagos, thank you for our listeners. Thank you for spending your breakfast with us. Thank you for spending this particular hour with us. Please, we urge you to continue listening to Overt Radio. We are broadcasting to you live from the city of Lagos. Lagos is a center of excellence. So 9:15, I will be back to talk more about this revelation that the head of civil service of the Federation, Mrs. Esther Didi Wilson-Jack, has said, saying that her office failed to carry out due diligence in the recruitment waiver for PFIPC.